Hello everyone, this is Plankera, and welcome to my universe. Today, I'm going to continue rigging Shalom for Path to Nowhere, and hopefully finish the last part of the hair today. Because last time I did both of these strands on my 4 main directions here, and so now I can just go in and do the corners. I checked it all out this morning, and you know, this strand being wrong aside, everything is looking okay. So I'm actually going to go in, I'm going to hide that little strand right now, and worry about it at the end. Once I remember which one it is. This one? Perfect. Okay. But before I go in and do that, I just reminded myself that I did not adjust this strand when I went in and fixed a lot of stuff over here yesterday. So I want to go ahead and do that now. So I'm going to start there. I almost forgot about him again. Alas, poor little strand. Keeps getting forgotten about. Oh yes, I figure I should get that into place first. But hopefully, with any luck, by the end of today, I will have all the layers on. Except for, I guess, the hair going over her shoulder here. You can't see it right now because it's off. But hopefully I'll have all of the other hair turned on today and everything in place, and I can just go and do her back hair tomorrow, and then everything will be ready for body turns. Because I plan to do the over-the-shoulder hair with her body turns. And I do not plan to be very ambitious with the body turns. I'm going to keep those pretty simple. We'll see how that shakes out in practice, because I do know my nature too, and sometimes, even when I think I'm not being very ambitious, stuff just kind of happens. So I'm gonna try to rein myself in a little bit there. Alright, but it looks like the strand is not too far off here. I'm just, I don't know, perfecting everything. Making everything look nice. But I think that'll be good for this angle, and now I just need to line it up on the right turns. Because, yeah, you can see I push things around quite a lot, so now it's just way out there. Does not know what is going on. Just looks like it has a mind of its own. It's not moving around with the rest of its friendly strands of hair. We can't just let it fly off into the ether like this. It's gotta sit with everything else. Alright, feel like I got the broad strokes good there. So now I just gotta line up the details again. I think all of my brushwork there, using the brush to move a bunch of vertices around at once, might have ended up bullying some of the vertices a little bit. Just pulling them in all sorts of directions. So I gotta kinda even things out again, but no. Looking at it, it's not as bad as I feared. I thought that I ended up pushing things around a lot. But I guess it was just the top that ended up looking a bit strange. That's good news. I don't like bullying my vertices. I don't want to be mean to them. I just want them all to be in a good place. So that everything will work well together and everyone can have a good time. Okay, and also want to fix the curve on the bottom here. Gotta have all those nice little curves to make the hair look nice and fluffy. And I'll just keep going back and forth and checking things. I'm mostly focused on the top here, but I felt like moving stuff at the bottom there, so I did. I just happened to notice something. Like, okay. Normally I do things from top to bottom. But you know what? It's fine. I can go touch that part real quick. It's totally fine. I just wanted to make a nice little curve. See, it's so much nicer to look at. Even though the curve's still not right, it is a slightly nicer curve than it was before. But yeah, now I'm gonna just focus on the top here. I'm gonna consult the mesh here and try to get these vertices properly spaced. So I'm just seeing how everything is kind of moving around and all that. Looks like some vertices are, I don't know, getting kind of squished together here, so gotta try to pull them apart a little bit. Like, the lines are a little bit hard to see here. But I'm gonna move nice and slowly and watch how the distance that this, like, outer line going across the vertices here gets closer to this outer line going on the other side. So when I move down, they just get a little bit closer together. Or how, when you look at the points where they connect here, there's a little zigzag going up and down here. How these two points right here get slightly closer together. See? That's the kind of thing that I'm looking at when I am consulting the mesh, and why I tend to only use it for very small details, or when I see something sliding and it's bothering me and I cannot for the life of me figure out what's going on with it. It's basically just because something is a little bit off in how my triangles are being angled. And that tends to cause those kinds of problems. Alright, let's see how I'm doing here. This strand has not been really wanting to move very well for me. That's surprising. Normally I don't have this much trouble with this one, but it's not working with me today. Not sure what I'm doing wrong with this little guy here. Normally as strands go, it's pretty chill, but not so much today. Just not quite working out. But art's like that some days. Some days it goes really well, and some days it feels like nothing you do even works. So I'm just gonna try to get through that and hope that some of the other strands will be a little bit more cooperative for me. I was a little surprised because with how well the initial right turn went, I was hoping that it wouldn't take me too long to get the rest of the angles looking good here. But alas, it's not quite working out for me today. It's alright, I'll make it work. Just gonna poke at it, and I don't know, if I start getting too irritated with it, I'll do it tomorrow and I'll work on something else. It's not really a big deal that I get this perfect, like, right now. But I always like to say it like that, because sometimes I wonder if when I'm like, okay, this isn't going well, I will do something else if it doesn't start working with me. Sometimes I wonder if my art hears me, and suddenly it'll start cooperating a little bit more again, because otherwise it's just going to be left behind, and I'm just going to get up and leave in a huff and go do something else. Sometimes I think stuff like that happens. I mean, I know not literally because I'm talking to an inanimate object, but even so, sometimes I feel like my art responds to me after that. Just like the, no, don't leave. Don't leave me in this half-finished state. I'll be good, I promise. Okay, I think that's close enough. Is it close enough? Probably, but it's moving upward just a little bit. If it was moving downward a little bit too much, I'd probably accept it, but the fact that it is moving in the opposite direction that it should be makes me not want to accept it, so... well, here we are. Okay, that's better. That should be fine. Alright, now to get this lower part. Yeah, it's still definitely a bit of a mess here. Alright, so now I want to get this nice little curve here. The nice little curve that I was talking about not long ago. Now it is time to actually perfect it and have it properly lining up with everything here. Ooh, that actually doesn't look super good, does it? Might have to do something about that. Let's see. Well, okay, no, that's squirmy enough that I'm actually gonna... Because, yeah, like, look at the back here. That's not good. Okay. I'm gonna try to line that part up. And for that, I will consult the mesh just a little bit here. With any luck, I won't have to do too much, because it does look like it's just a minor case of some vertices sliding down, but it looked pretty bad. So I would rather not leave it like that. It's like I just figured that I'd check this real quick just to make sure that the strand was moving right, because I thought that I had checked to make sure that everything else was lining up nicely for me. But it seems like I didn't do that properly. Past self is here, missing some steps. It's okay, it happens. That's why the future self is always here to save the day. Okay, now let's turn the strand back on and see if it's all still kind of lined up. Good enough. Okay, back to the strand. I just don't want to spend an eternity on some of those details just really far away there. I do not think that anyone will notice the little bit of sliding that's going on there. I say while I consult the mesh to really look at the little bit of sliding on this strand. It's fine. I don't know, I just always see the sliding so much more clearly in small strands like this. So I spend a little bit of extra time to stop that from happening. Because otherwise it will drive me nuts. I will just see it squirming out of the corner of my eye. And man... terrible feeling, I tell you. It gets so distracting. Okay. So now I'm very carefully looking at the mesh so that this way I could get that cute little curve. The one that I want there. Something like this is probably pretty close. Let's see if there's anything that I really need to adjust. Yeah, I'd say that's good enough. Alright, let's go to the upper side. Okay, this side isn't quite as bad off. Definitely still needs correction, but it is not as bad. So I just drop things down here a little bit. Okay, and it's looking like the strand is getting a little bit thick, so I will go and make it a little bit thinner. Just by pushing these vertices a little bit closer together. I can kind of see how I did the original mesh. It is fairly... I don't know, it's a pretty good lattice here. So I think I can kind of trust things to be in a relatively straight line here. And if I see any parts sticking out, that is a sign that something is wrong. There may be parts that I didn't mesh quite perfectly, so like the lines are probably not perfectly straight and all that. So I shouldn't necessarily take the vertices not lining up perfectly as a sign that something is, or as truth that something is wrong, just as a simple sign. It is worth taking a look at. That's all it means. See, if you want my opinion, I don't think that you should turn your brain off when you're trying to create something. Because I think autopilot is actually pretty bad for the creative process. Reminds me of some art advice that I heard a long time ago that confused me at first, but I think I understand now. Of basically saying never use the exact same process every single time. So like if you do line art, then base colors, then shading, and that kind of order, then, you know, maybe consider putting some base colors down before you fully finish your line art, or shade one piece at a time instead of putting all the base colors down first, or whatever else. Just deviate from your usual process in one way. And I didn't really get the reason at first, but now I think I do. I think it's a combination of, if you deviate from your process at least a little bit, you might find better ways to do what you want to do and find a better process than the one that you're currently using. So that's one. And then for two, it keeps your mind a little bit more active, a little bit more sharp. Makes it so that you're a little bit less likely to go on autopilot. And I do think that that is legitimately useful for creating anything. Not just visual art. But visual art is the example I use because, well, it's what I do, and it's also what the person giving the advice was doing as well. So it's what I think about. Oh yeah, I gotta keep that brain engaged. Keep it thinking. Alright, I think I've almost got this strand lined up here. The very bottom of it is just a little bit thick. So I'm gonna go ahead and make it a little bit thinner. Okay, and I see a little bit of lobbiness right through here, so I'm gonna try to fix that up too. Just a little bit. I think I might need to consult the mesh for it, though. Okay. I think I understand. Might take me a couple of tries to get it right, though. I understand, but you know. Yeah, no. Okay, that's probably fine. Okay, and then, I don't know, right there, still got a little bit of squirming. Still got a little bit of squirming. Actually, I think that's probably all I need to do. I was thinking, okay, what other vertices do I need to move here? But no, I think that's it. Yep! That is it! Alright, let me make sure that things are lined up at the top, because I apparently did not do that with the bottom. But yes, I think that this is good. So, back to what I planned to do for today, and let's get in to the corners for the side bang. Yesterday I wasn't quite feeling up to doing corners, so I just went ahead and worked on something else for a little bit. But today is a new day, and today seems like a fantastic day for doing corners and for noticing random things that I apparently didn't notice when I was working on this area. Such is life. Not quite happy with that, but that's okay. I can come in and fix it now. Okay, so basically what I was doing here is I was staring at the very top of this side strand there. I guess I arbitrarily decided I'm starting in the upper left. I think that's fine. We can start in the upper left. No reason not to. And I was making sure that I liked the way that it was sitting on top of the hair here, and I wasn't quite convinced that I did. Even now, I'm still not quite convinced that I am happy with how it's sitting there. But because I was looking over there really hard, I just noticed that this didn't look super great, so I wanted to adjust that first. Alright, let's go ahead and try to line this up now. Get all those corners looking nice. And I might just need to make some adjustments around it as I notice things. That is fine too. 'Cause it's been a while since I've looked at these areas, so there might be a thing or two that I missed. Or, you know, maybe I didn't miss it, and maybe now that I have more worked out, I just have a better understanding of how this area should actually look. Maybe that's true too. I don't know. It doesn't really matter. If I don't like it now, I should consider whether or not I want to make some adjustments. That's all. This all seems okay, though. So now that I'm a little bit happier with the top, I'm gonna keep working my way down the strand and stare very intensely as I work my way down. Will hold nothing back as I stare and make sure that everything is the way that I want it to be. My husband and I have been playing Metaphor, Refantasio, lately. It's a game that I had been looking forward to play for a while, and I'm a little bit sad. I've been a fan of the Shin Megami Tensei series for quite some time, basically since Nocturne. That's when it started getting big in the West, and when we actually started getting releases. So around Nocturne Persona 3 era. And when I saw it, and I saw that it had a lot of the same kind of writing style and the particular flavor of pretentiousness that I tend to enjoy, I was pretty excited. But I don't know, it's not clicking for me like many things that this studio has developed has. Like, I had pretty high hopes after Persona 5, and when I saw that, when I first heard that this game was basically when I heard that they were making something outside of SMT and Persona, I was wondering if it was just going to be another engine test for Persona 6, like Catherine was when it was released. So I wasn't initially expecting something as big and grand as what it ended up being. And I also thought it was really funny that, indeed, it had a lot of Persona-esque mechanics. So I actually do wonder if it was indeed something to help develop the engine for Persona 6, but... oh man, I was so excited when I saw that it had, you know, the calendar and day systems and all the stuff that kind of made Persona unique and interesting, but in a very different setting. But I don't know, man, the writing is just not hitting for me. Not at all. I feel like none of the stuff that they've been trying to do has been set up properly, and I can't really go into it without talking about spoilers. And even then, it's like I haven't finished the game yet, and I feel weird talking about a game like that without actually seeing the ending and what they're planning on doing. But I'm assuming that I just got to one of the... what I think is supposed to be a big plot twist, but because nothing was really set up, it's like... I'm not quite sure why I should care. Like, they never really go over what the kind of main, obviously, like, cartoonishly evil church is supposed to believe, or what their belief systems are. So I'm like, okay. I thought it was kind of obvious that they weren't going to be, like, true. But, like, we never actually got to know what they were. All these other things are... So I'm not sure. I'm kind of hoping that something else comes up, because I'm finding myself a little bit disappointed. Because I've been kind of looking forward to it, and at the very beginning I was like, heck yeah. So excited. But I think that's kind of a funny nature of disappointment, in that you can't be disappointed if you expect nothing. So... So for me, the saddest things is just when something seems really good, or starts out really good, and then it just does absolutely nothing. Those tend to be the most disappointing things for me. Like, I guess if you want a hot take for me today, it's I didn't think Free Run was very good. Free Run, oh my gosh, it hit that disappointing mark so hard for me. Because, I mean, a lot of people were talking about it and saying that it was good, so I had some expectations there. But even besides that, like, the first, oh man, like 5 episodes or so, you know, up until they killed Aura, fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It was spectacular. Like, I was invested, man. And then, you know, they ended the arc with Aura, and nothing happened after that. Absolutely nothing. It just meandered pointlessly through the entire thing, and I remember my husband had to look up whether the priest character whose name escapes me right now, that joined the party briefly, was filler or not. That's kind of how I was feeling about a lot of things. From then on, it went into this absolutely emotional and wonderful thing that talked about a lot of interesting things. The nature of time, and being able to care about things just because somebody that you care about cares about them. And I thought the demons were an interesting concept, and various things like this. All sorts of cool things. It was just chock full of it. It was wonderful. And then it just all went away. It just went into what I felt like was cute girls doing cute things slop. It was so sad. I was so sad. I could not even properly describe my sadness. But, that disappointment only existed because the beginning of it was so good. Like, so good. Oh man. Did so many interesting things, and I was glad I watched it, but oh man, I wish the author did something with all that wonderful stuff he set up at the beginning, and all the investment that he earned from just how good the beginning was. I'm so glad I watched it, though. I mean, even me enjoying the beginning quite a lot aside, I wouldn't say I'm immune to disappointment, but I can sit with it pretty well. I have a very strong positivity bias in general, and that I'm more likely to remember when things are good than when they are bad. It's gotten to me into a bit of trouble before, but it's okay. I think it's a good way to be. I can kind of appreciate things for what they are. And when I do get that just soul-crushing, why? Of the of being disappointed like that. I can deal with it. It doesn't feel too bad for me. But sometimes I do think about what could have been. When I think of free rent, I kind of wonder if the author had an interesting idea at the beginning and just started writing it down, was having a good time, and then just reached the end of the ideas that he had and wasn't quite sure what to do with it after that. Because I've seen that happen. I'd say it's quite common in amateur writing, which is more what I'm familiar with. And I've been seeing it a lot in comics too, especially from comics that I think were probably started by high schoolers who just wanted to write something cool and didn't know where to take it afterwards. Which is fair. I mean, when it comes to wanting to write stuff, I think just getting started is a good idea, especially if you are a beginner, which most high schoolers will be. Beginner, intermediate, depending on when they decided writing stories seriously. So, I mean, it's a good way to be, but it can be a little bit sad when the story kind of gets away from you, or you just reach a point and now you're just like, okay, I don't know what to do anymore. Guess I'll just try writing some other stuff. Okay, so I was noticing that the edge of the strand here didn't seem to be quite in the right spot, so I'm kind of feeling out where this edge is supposed to be now. Because, yeah, it's still squirming around here. Some parts feel like it's sticking out too far, others not far enough. The corners are always so much harder than everything else, I swear. This is the point where I have to start really making sure that the upper turns and my side turns all work together. Because that's basically what a corner is. It is the combination of the other two angles next to it. And sometimes it's not always easy to find the right balance, like here it is off again. Why? Why is it off? The question I must ask myself. I think before I can fix it, I need to be able to understand, and I think part of it is I just need to move, like, this entire thing over here a little bit. Did I move the entire hair over when I did the right side? Or the left side, rather? I can't even remember. But I guess I'm doing it now. Just how things are working out. I'm also here trying to get the angle on this strand looking good. Yeah, because I was noticing that it was actually going like super straight down, and I was having it curved a lot more on this angle than I did on my left angle. So I was also kind of feeling that out too, and I'm kind of hoping that once I get this right, I'll have an easier time figuring out where the outer edge of that bang should go to. Get those two spots working together. Because you know, life's easier when you work together. Okay, yeah, I think that's looking pretty good now. You know what, while I'm here, I'm gonna do the same on my lower left turn as well. Oh, well, lower left turn is actually looking a lot better. At least when it comes to this one strand that I am looking at this very moment. Not sure about the sides here, I'm not overly concerned with that yet. I just feel like there's a little bit of kind of ugly compression. So I'm gonna work that out. And then I think it'll... Right there, it looks a little bit rough still. But I think once I get that worked out, it'll actually look pretty okay. So let's work out some of that ugly compression. Yes, this poor area over here has no idea what's going on. Definitely can't have that. Let's give these poor little vertices a little bit of personal space here. Don't want things to be overcrowded. Yeah, there we go. I think that should look pretty good. And I'm hoping that by doing that, I will be able to move her head up and down a little bit more nicely. I say because the curve here does not seem quite right. And it does feel like it's sliding down a little bit too much. So I guess I need to move, like, all of the vertices further up. I did see some ugly compression up here, so let's just stretch everything out here. Okay, and from here on, I will not use the brush because I am scared. The brush is just the destroyer of worlds. It moves everything without the slightest bit of thought. With what else it might be hitting, or what other damage it might be causing. So I gotta be careful when I use it. And I was afraid that the Destroyer of Worlds there may have pushed things in a way that I may find less than appealing, so I'm going to pull the rest of these vertices up by hand, where I can be a little bit more gentle and take things a little bit more evenly. Okay. Do I see a bunch of ugly sliding now? No. So now I can just focus on cleaning up the rest and getting everything in just the right spot. This part just needed to curl a little bit more, and then there's a part out here that sticks out just a little bit too much. So I'll get this angle going down nice and straight. Okay, and now there's a part right through here that is not curving in a nice way. So we gotta get that cute little curl back in. Can't leave it without a cute little curl here. I don't think that's right, but let me see if it's closer. Okay, I see where I need to fix. Most of the time I try to get at least a small portion looking the way that I think it should, but sometimes that's not always easy, so I just check it to make sure that I'm on the right track, more or less. Alright, there we go. That's good. Now then, I can return to my upper right here, and now that I know that this little loop is just right, I can hopefully find a good angle for the rest of her side hair here. Really line it up, and I guess, you know, everything I did actually is working out pretty well here. Okay, that's good. Look, sometimes things don't cooperate with me and I get a little bit worried. So in this case, I just tried to go look at something that was cooperating with me. That little loop, that strand that I wanted to work on there, it was going great. And all was well. And now I can use that to help me line up the hair next to it. I've been realizing this while trying to write my comic, in that I tried several times to write something on my own before I started getting some traction with this particular idea. And after a while, it's basically I'd get some ideas to get started, and I just didn't know how to take them anywhere. Didn't know what to do with them. And so I'd try again with a slightly different idea. And see how that went, and I think this comic idea is like my 4th or 5th. But I realized partway through there, I was able to... Let me back up a bit. Yeah, I realized partway through this one, because I was drawing a lot more. Just in the past 2 years, I've been drawing so many things, and it's been great. But because I was drawing a lot more, I realized that when I draw, most of the time, I actually have no idea what I'm doing. Like, legitimately. I just have kind of a spark of an idea in my head, I get some of it down, I derp around with it for a while, and... most of the time, I'm able to get something that resembles whatever, random chaos my thoughts happen to string together into something actually tangible. Hello there, Lele. Thank you. I have been working on this for quite some time. Anyway, where was I? Oh yes, I noticed with art that if I flail around enough, eventually I will get something decent down, so... I realized that with writing, it's kind of the same. It's okay if I don't know a lot of things. Totally fine. I'll figure it out eventually. I just gotta focus on the things that I do know. And then it'll give me ideas for other parts that I maybe do not completely understand yet. And it's been working out. Okay. So now I feel like up here is all looking pretty good. So now I can start focusing on all the highlights and shadows in this area in particular. Moved them around a little bit in my last edit, but now I think I can really go in there and make sure that they're all good. As always, it might take me a couple of tries to get all this right, but I have some ideas. So I'll just get started with that. You know what I was just talking about was very true of rigging. And I have mentioned this before on stream, where I just look at a thing and I'm just like, man, where do I even start? What do I do? Everything is so wrong. But eventually I'm able to break it down enough that I can get through it and make it all line up very nicely. Alright, so I'm gonna line up this highlight too. Just all of the little shadows and highlights in this area. That is the next goal. As usual, I've been working from the top of the strand and working my way down. So, yeah, I think everything up here looks good. So, yep, this is the next spot. Currently, I think I have this highlight turning the wrong direction. Yeah, up here it turns this way a little bit, but it's mostly straight up. So I should do something about that. That is definitely contributing to things not lining up quite properly. Trying to be fairly gentle with moving those center spots there because I mostly like this edge. So I don't want to move that dark line too much. No more than I have to. Okay, and actually for this part, I'm just going to go ahead and go down this strand for now, while I'm working out this highlight. I'm going to consult the mesh for it, and just work out this last bit of sliding that I'm seeing. Yeah, I see the vertices right through here are all kind of separating apart from each other. Getting real far apart there. So let me push them a little bit closer together here. Some of those outer vertices were also pointing in a random direction here. But this is the kind of thing that consulting the mesh is pretty good for. This lets me know when certain vertices got moved a little bit too far or not far enough. And then I can return balance to the land and get them to where they need to go. Get them just the right distance from everything else. Where they don't feel too crowded, but also not too lonely. Okay, one thing I want to check visually before I do any more mesh consultation is the location of this particular strand of hair. Because I moved it around quite a bit when I was checking the left turn here. And indeed, it's a little squirmy on this angle now. And as always, it may take me a couple of tries to line this up. Let's see here, I was just double checking my upward turn to make sure that I liked the way this strand was sitting on this turn. because then I could line it up vertically with this and have it all look nice. But I realized I didn't like the angle that the tip of it was pointing, but just the very tip of it. The rest is fine. The rest looks great. So I'm gonna go get that into place here. Get it just right. And see where that takes me. I'm just gonna take a moment to get this just the way I want it to be. Right now I felt like the tip was a little bit long, because I'm gonna be using this to line it up with the upper left. So I want to make sure that it is indeed place features on other angles. Then if anything about it is wrong, then everything about my other angles will also be wrong. So, very important to at least take a little bit of time to get all this sorted out. Get it just right. Okay. And now I can start lining that up with my upper left turn. So I'm going to go back and forth a few times, make sure it's all lining up vertically. Because right now it's going a lot lower and I don't think that looks very good. So I need to raise it up a little bit. Probably through here too. And curl it just right. Gotta have those cute little curls, you know? The tips of her hair just look so much better when those nice little curls, those cute little curls, are exactly as they should be. And I felt like the vertices were sliding down a little bit, so I'm gonna go ahead and push them back up too. It's probably from all the moving around I did with the brush. Such is the nature of these things. The brush is truly the destroyer of worlds, but it is so convenient. It's so convenient, so I don't want to stop using it. Just means that I have a little bit of extra cleanup to do at the end, but it's fine. Okay, Yes, I think that is pretty good now. So now I have the tip lined up, and now I can consult the mesh. I think I'm going to consult my upward turn again to make sure that I have all of these little guys in place, and it looks like I set them up a little bit too far. But that's fine, I will bring them back down to where they belong. Just going to be nice and delicate with the tip of this strand here. Okay. And now I'm going to consult the mesh again, but this time I'm going to compare it to the left turn. And I'll just keep doing this until I feel like I have this strand in a good spot and it's no longer just squirming around awkwardly. Don't want the vertices to feel awkward about where they are. You want them to be bold and confident and feel like this is exactly where they belong. You only squirm if you're uncomfortable, you know? I'm just gonna take this nice and slow. Make sure that all of the vertices are stretched out where they need to be. Some of them felt like they were getting a little bit compressed there. Okay, that's probably close enough. Let's go take a look visually now. Actually, look at the art and see how it's moving around. I'd kind of like the tip of the strand here to go a little bit further to the left. Let's see if I can get away with such things without having it no longer align with the top turn. Okay, this seems okay. I can be happy with that, but I did use the brush to move this, so got a little bit of cleanup to do here to get it to align. Alright. Let's kind of stretch some of these parts out here. And at the end, I wanted to have a cute little curl, because of course I do. The tips of the hair are just not complete without the cute little curl. Lines up really well with the top turn, but I don't feel like it's lining up with the left turn just yet. What about it is wrong here? Let me think here. I'm gonna stare at this for a little bit and try to really understand where I think this problem lies. Okay. I think I have some idea. It doesn't quite look like it's rising. I think that might be the issue. I don't think I want it to be, like, higher up vertically than this, because I think it's already lining up well with the upper turn. So I'm going to just change the angle right here. Make this a little bit straighter. And see if that kind of does it. Yes, that was it. Most excellent. Like, sometimes I just need to take a second and think and really understand what is going on here, rather than just mindlessly move my vertices around. At least have some idea of where they need to go. Wonderful. So much better. I think the bottom is still a little bit off, but that's okay. I can go in and fix that still. And everything else is just doing so much better. Sometimes all it takes is one small angle change, and then everything comes together. Yeah, I think that's pretty good, so I'll call that good, and now I can get back onto this side. I was worried for a second there. It would have been kind of disappointing if I didn't finish even one angle this time around. And honestly, this strand is not quite right either. I'm gonna go pull him out just a bit here. Which one are you again? That one. Okay. So I feel like it's just getting a little bit too short. Yeah, probably from up here. So I'm just gonna get my big old brush and pull it down just a tad. That is probably fine. Okay. I am satisfied. Let me just go ahead and curl the end here just a little bit nicer. So after all, you gotta have that cute little curl. Gotta. That is maybe a little bit too much curl, but it is very cute, so... I can forgive myself for wanting to do it like that, but it does have to be a little bit straighter at the bottom here. I just overdid it. It's fine. Happens all the time. Okay, I'm gonna have to consult the mesh for this. Alright, mesh, what you got for me? Ah, I see. Okay, let's slide all of these up just a tad. Because this is an upward angle, so I actually do want these to be a little bit higher. I don't want it to be a pure copy-paste of what's below. I just don't want it to squirm quite as much as it is. Right now, the effect is just a little bit too strong. I gotta kind of even it out just a bit here. And then it should be fine. Totally fine. Okay, that's probably close enough. I don't know. You know, maybe it will be easier if I just copy and paste it here. What is the name of the strand? Yeah, hair side tiny. Hair, side, tiny strand left. Here we are. We're gonna copy and we're gonna paste. Yeah, I guess I can see it. Okay, maybe we're not gonna do that then. Maybe I should take it from up here then, where we copy, and then we paste. And then I just grab all of them, and wow, that moved further than I expected. Yeah, that didn't copy it. Okay. Program still has a bit of trouble in certain areas, and sometimes I have found that when I just very slightly move one vertex after pasting something, it responds a bit better. So, there we go. I did it that time. But this is still really far off. Okay. I won't do that then. I'll be good and just not copy and paste anything. It's not that far off. I just need to look into it a little bit better. I'm assuming something about the mesh group, that all of these meshes are sitting underneath, is just not agreeing with my copy and pasting strats to try to save myself some time. Well, fine. It doesn't have to agree. I'll still find a way to get the strand exactly the way I want it, and there's nothing that the mesh group can do to stop me. Absolutely nothing. It may hold power over the meshes, but it has no power over me. And I have even greater power over the meshes. Okay, so let's see how that is. Getting stuck on a random little strand. Sounds like something I'd do. It really does. Man, but it's still not quite lining up the way that I want it to. Still not quite there. Like, man, little strand, why you gotta be like this? Why can't we all just get along? Okay, but at least with the bit of squirming that I'm seeing there, I think that is easily solved with just a little bit of mesh consultation and patience. So I will do my best to be patient for this little strand. Get it to where it needs to go. Okay. Mesh suggests to me that this should be fine, so let's see how I feel about it. This is almost fine. The tip. The tip is not yet fine, but it is very, very close. Got a little bit too long at the end there, I think. And now it should be fine. No, it's still not. Man, why is hair so hard? Yeah, this time it feels like it's not lifting up enough, so I'm gonna try to lift it up just a little. It still lines up here, right? No, it doesn't. And we'll shoot. Okay. But at least the reason it doesn't line up there, I think, is just because the very tip of it there is curled too much on the end. If I made it a little bit straighter, just like this, in theory, it'll be okay. In theory, I hope. Just trying to get the shape looking nice at the end there. Okay, this seems fine. Okay, I think that's fine. I am satisfied. I'm not gonna look at it again in case I change my mind. Forbidden from looking at the strand. Alright, let's try to finish off the end here. Okay, so before I got distracted by a bunch of random stuff, I was working on this highlight. Let's go back to working on that highlight. Let's get it nice. Let's make it nice and smooth. Hopefully eliminate some of the squirming that I've been seeing in that area. Always easier said than done, but I will do my best. I had to save my foot again there. I was starting to fall asleep. Should probably stop sitting on it. It's just so comfortable. So, making sure to bob it up and down just a bit so that hopefully this way it stops whining at me. Okay, yeah, that is looking pretty good. Okay, I think I can be happy with that. Now I'm gonna go take a look at the 2 strands at the bottom here. So let's see how those are looking. Yeah, I think I want to make the shadow part on the brown strand a little bit narrower. So I'm gonna go ahead and just pull on all of this. Try to make this just a tad narrower. I don't think I have to do anything too drastic though. I think it's mostly fine. Still not sure why I have this random vertex there, but I'm sure my past self was thinking something. She was doing her best, that's what. Okay, I don't think I want it quite that thin. A little bit more meat right through here. Alright, looking good. Alright, at least I got one angle done. I didn't touch this strand. But that's okay. I'm really only worried about the side bank here first. I will do the strand from hell after I get all of them done. Yeah, I can see that there's a bunch of stuff I'm gonna have to do here. Oh boy. I am terrified. But that's alright. It'll all be okay. Let's see, how confident do I feel about starting the next one? Oh gosh. There's so much squirming there, my goodness. Okay. Well, I can get it started. Let's just get the highlights on the top here. Alright, so it is time to start lining all of this up. There's just like a spot up here that was, I guess, rounded out a little bit too much. So now I need to pull it all closer to her eyes. Just like this. And then further down, that edge is controlled by a different layer. So I want to get this upper part done first. Once again, I am just working top to bottom. I find it easier than any other way. So I always like to get the top of the strand first before I go in and start doing shenanigans in other places. And I can see that I'm going to have to do some stuff over here too. I had to do a little bit of stuff on that layer on the upper left turn as well, so I don't think it's too surprising. I'll just go in and make sure all of that looks very nice. Okay, now we'll worry about down there a little bit later. I want to take a look at everything over here behind her ears. I just do not feel like it is quite lining up. It's kind of sticking out a bit more than I feel like it should. So I will go ahead and pull this back just a little. It's probably a side effect from when I was messing with these layers a bit earlier. Trying to get the side of her head looking very nice. Had some unintended consequences. That's okay, these things happen. I can go back and fix it up now, and, you know, everything over here still looks okay. Even with all those little fixes that I just did. I just wasn't thinking about this area quite as hard during that time. But it's okay, now I can give it all the thought that it needs. And all the attention it deserves. I think I want to do a little bit more with it up on this angle as well. Just smooth everything out a little bit here. Because there's like 2 or 3 colors in these shadows. And I want them to all be lined up nicely. And right now it's this dark red part that is not quite lining up. But I think everything else looks pretty good. So I'll just very slowly push that red part back into place. I never like to go too fast here because that's a recipe for pushing things too far. And then just having to make all kinds of little adjustments to try to get it back. So I just like to take it one step at a time. I'll do big movements if I feel like I have to move it really far away. These things do happen. It's why I use the brush a lot. But when I can, you know, just take it easy. One little step at a time. Alright, that seems a lot better. And you know what? I think that is where I will stop for today. So tomorrow, we'll go into the lower left. We'll see if the lower left is a little kinder to me than the upper left was. Or... okay, actually before I stop, I want to adjust the strand right here a little bit more. Well, yes. Tomorrow, I will hopefully be going into the lower left turn, and I do hope it will be kinder to me than the upper right or upper left was. Yes, we're going to the left, not the right. I know my directions. I swear. And with any luck, I'll be able to go to the right turns as well. But we shall see. The strand, or, you know, this side hair isn't proving to be quite as difficult as the side hair on the left was, so that makes me happy. Because I was a little bit worried about working on all of this after how, difficult the other side hair was. I had to poke at that for a long time before I got it into a state where I was happy with it, but I do think it looks pretty good. You know, this guy. This guy was hard. He was very hard. This guy is proving not to be quite as hard, but still pretty hard. But I do think I will go ahead and perfect this tiny little strand on all of these left angles while I'm over here, before I forget. I don't look over here very often anymore, so I could very easily forget. Might as well just get it now. And it's not that hard. I think this looks okay. So I'll call that good, and that is where I will stop for today. So, thank you all for coming, and I hope you're able to make something wonderful today. I'll see you all tomorrow.